Biodiversity Boost has done quite a lot of work sort of within our reserves in the Druridge Bay area.
The Biodiversity Boost project has enhanced a whole range of habitats across our 3 sites. Here at Hawksley, we've managed to create a wildflower meadow. At East Chevington, we've done work on reed beds and on the Chevington Burn, which runs through the site, and at West Chevington we've done a lot of woodland restructure. We've planted trees, we've planted hedgerows.
We've never really had the opportunity to do this amount of capital works and this amount of work for a few years, so it's allowed us to get a little bit ahead of where we actually sort of thought we would actually be by this time.
So there's a lot of species that are struggling at the minute due to climate change, habitat loss across the country, across the world, and in our local area it's important that we can try and improve the habitat that's already there for the species that need the most help.
So we've done work on a wide variety of habitats, including woodland, reed beds, wetland work. We've done public access work as well. It's not just about necessarily doing the work for sort of biodiversity, it's increasing that access and increasing that sort of the opportunity for people to engage with the environment as well.
Over that period of time, trying to see a measurable increase in the biodiversity of the area and just try and improve our various nature reserves for the species that are already here.
Things that we wouldn't have been able to do without that funding.
Some changes are massively immediately obvious.
For example, the Chevington Burn used to be poker straight. It used to run in a straight line.
We've taken a long linear channel and introduced features like backwaters, and we've introduced pools and riffles and things like that. You can see that straight away.
And when you go down there now, it looks like a really wild, original river.
But there's other more subtle things where we've sort of done some planting, we've done sort of things which will take a little while to establish. Some of the woodland work that we've done on West Chevington at the minute looks massively dramatic because we've cleared woodland rides, we've done quite a bit of thinning out of the conifer plantation, which looks really, really drastic and looks quite harsh. But over the years you'll see slow, subtle changes as those habitats begin to recolonise. So some you can see instantly, others it's more about the long term.
Where there's cases where we can do reintroduction, like marsh area for example, we'd love to. Otherwise, just improving what's already there for the species that are here but struggling. And there's a lot of species like that their numbers have dwindled over the last however many decades, and we're just trying to bring the land back up to the point that they need it at to be able to make use of it effectively and just help those species thrive basically where they should be thriving.
A lot of the changes that we'll hope to see might not be seen for 10 or 20 years, but some of the changes are very obvious.
You don't necessarily need to be an expert to see some of these changes. You'll see very, very subtle changes. You'll see different birds, you'll hear different birds, you'll see different insects, you'll see different plants. And it's not just about the massive scale stuff. Some of the small scale things that we've done will actually sort of slowly begin to sort of develop, that will become more obvious over time.
One of the best things about the project for me has been the engagement with members of the public and volunteers.
It's not just about what we've done directly for the wildlife, it's about trying to bring people into the site by having sort of public events like guided walks, and survey works. We're trying to sort of get as many people involved with nature and trying to reconnect them as best as we possibly can.
We've had an extraordinary team of almost 100 volunteers have taken part in our activities across the 2 years.
Obviously Northumberland Wildlife Trust, we've got a huge number of really, really dedicated volunteers who are already engaged, but we're trying to bring in a new audience as well. So by doing things like a bat walk, or by doing things like a sort of a walk around West Chevington, or even getting people involved with survey work, it's about sort of getting people to take a little bit of sort of extra depth of interest.
It's been great to speak to members of the public as well about the various things that we do at these nature reserves and just let them know how we're helping improve the sites for nature. All of these nature reserves on the Druridge Bay coastline used to be open cast coal mines, and they've all been restored. And now they're, as you can see looking around, just incredible places for wildlife. And it's fantastic to be able to be a part of that ongoing conservation and restoration project.
Being able to meet people from all different walks of life and allowing them to see the work that we're trying to do on our site has been really rewarding.
Where we can, or where we could, We've tried to work mainly with local contractors to do the work. So we've had sort of companies in like Coquetdale Timber to do some of the tree felling work and the timber harvesting and things like that on West Chevington.
So we've got 3 project partners. We have Eco North, who've conducted some surveys of our site.
It's furthered already sort of established links between us and Northumberland Zoo.
Who as part of the project are creating their own wildlife watch and hide at the zoo itself. We've got Flexi Graze, who've supplied our livestock for conservation grazing.
We provide livestock to graze specialist nature reserves, hay meadows, wild ground nesting bird breeding areas, and just general habitat management.
They've brought us a herd of Highland cattle and a herd of goats, which have done a fantastic job here at Hawksley and down at East Chevington.
It's useful for those grasses to get knocked back so that new species, new plants and insects and so on can then recolonise that in the spring and see new growth. So that's been interesting working with those.
I like them all when they behave. They can all test my patience when they don't. I suppose my surprise of the whole project has been the goats, because I was always very bit sniffy about goats and I wasn't very keen on them, but actually working with them, they're not as bad as I thought they would be. In fact, they're quite characters, and I'm quite smitten with them.
We're working really closely with a company called Silvermore, who are they're a hay producer. So they're helping us with the nutrient stripping, so they're taking a crop off the site. They're actually sort of proving that you can actually get a product, you can actually sort of like do something that's of economic value on a wildland site.
Working with different partners has been great because they've all brought something different to the project. It's had its challenges as well, trying to coordinate things across different distances.
The problem we have, there's a shortage of contractors who do this type of work, and sometimes you have to go a little bit out of the box, you have to go a little bit or a lot out of the local area.
We've been really fortunate to work with Collinwood School, who've prepared a series of short videos to allow people to see what we're doing on our sites. Here at Hawksley, people can wander around and see all of the work that we've done. They can wander through the meadow, but at places like West Chevington, it's not as accessible for people, so hopefully these videos will show people the work that's going on behind the scenes.
A massive part of this project is sort of the evaluation and just seeing how successful we've actually been. So throughout the project we've been doing things like monitoring, looking at vegetation change, looking at species change, survey work, just keeping everything going, looking at the sort of the relationships and the success of working with contractors, and the evaluation process is a massive part of it.
For me personally, it's been amazing to start what's effectively a new career and follow a project from start to end and see the whole range of activities that go on to make a project like this happen.
I've always been interested in ecology and conservation. Literally, since I was watching David Attenborough documentaries age 4 or something, I've always wanted to be involved in nature and nature conservation. So after I finished my degree at Newcastle in conservation, this was a perfect place to come and start working on that career, basically.
You learn from it. Sort of, you can identify areas where you've made mistakes, where things could have been done slightly better, or you can identify successes where you've done really, really well, or you've overachieved, or even where you've underachieved. And that evaluation is critical for projects like this.